to, that for the supervisor to report back out to the board at the next joint board meeting, how that process is going to be handled. Okay?
And to address it before the election too.
Well, she got to tell us the process at the next report.
Saturday or Monday.
All right, roll call.
Move that the supervisor report at the next board meeting. That information on election night, the process by which the information on election night is designed, produced, and published and uploaded to the webmaster.
Public meeting. And then make sure your last word. Everybody understand the motion? Mr. Williams, roll call.
Mr. Delbert Bryan.
Yeah.
Roll on Molina.
Yes.
Lisa Harris-Moran.
Yes.
Liliana Balado de Avila.
Yes.
Lucas W. Ross Jr.
Yes.
Glenn Wesley, yes. Raymond J. Williams.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, and what we're hearing, Mrs. Mohammed, coming to you, Mrs. Wujika, I'm sure I've been looking through some of these contracts. And the contract for the webmaster, what you call them, with Heinzman, Barbara Heinzman, and some other company. Would you please make that information available to all of the members so we can read it? Because that contract's been around for some time, and it's been amended again, and I saw a document where property procurement was making reference to something in the report. So why do people think I ain't reading over and I've been watching? So I sit in quietly, calmly, but when the whole thing comes to the farm, we can see what's on the involvement.
Sure. Which, there are a couple of contracts.
The first contract with Mr. Aronson, with Ms. Barbara Heinzman, and the amended motion that came from property procurement with the same contractor.
We may want to amend the contract so that it includes information for election night, because her contract.
Well, all the information for that contract, we need to see them.
Yeah, it would be
Yes,
perfect
ma'am.
to add a.
I move that we direct the supervisor to have all of his contracted people available at
Right.
24 days.
Motion, the second. Webster, Molina, the second. The motion made by Mrs. Mohammed that we have all the contractors relative to elections.
Our contracts.
Contracts.
No.
All the contractor.
Oh,
She said
no, take it easy now, Jesus Christ.
She said who she will represent to the meeting of the joint
We
board.
don't know about.
So that's the 25th. The 25th or the 27th, which one is it?
Is that contract?
No, it's contract and contractors.
Right.
So we asking her to have the contractors with the Heinzman, webmaster, that the company available to the next joint board meeting so we can clarify who gonna get the information to the public right away when we have the elections done.
And they don't get paid.
No,
We got contract.
technical issue.
The contract get paid already, when he said game change.
They don't get paid every time they show up.
No, hold on. Because property and procurement are rule approve those contracts, so therefore you're committed to procurement rate. So whenever you send that, you have to put a file in the contract. So if you don't have no file, you have to accept what you agree, and I haven't seen it.
If there is fraud with respect to what they represented,
Then what you can hold it.
remedy for that.
Mr. Bryan?
It's going to come in. You finished, right? Roll call.
Roll call. Reverend Bryan.
Yeah.
Roll Molina. Yes. Lisa Harris-Moran.
Yeah.
Yes. Mrs. Liliana Balado de Avila.
Yes.
Mr. Lucas W. Ross.
No.
Glenn Wesley, yes. Raymond J. Williams.
Yeah.
Motion carries to have the contractors along with the contract that we spoke to this particular board available for the next joint board meeting, whether the 25th or the 22nd. Approved 6 years when,
Mr. Bryan,
yes, ma'am.
just so you know, Dr. Coverdale, there's no contract between Dr. Coverdale and the system.
But she didn't pay, so we want her here.
An election worker, so
Well,
that's,
she's-
so I will just produce a contract.
No.
We won't.
Well, whatever the contracts we have or don't have, we make it sure that the contractors, we want the many for contractors to include that the company, we can do that right now. Who have a motion for that?
I so move.
What was that? It's out.
Second, let's add it.
Second, any objection?
No, I didn't hear that.
So I will tell you what really happened is that Mrs. Whittaker is saying that the Coverdale does not have a contract per se, so it leaves an open door for she not to be there. So I'm saying that we need to include reference that she be present to explain what her role really is.
Oh,
So that's what we said.
oh,
It was when you said so hard and so much a second.
mm.
So then we have to include that the Coverdale contractor or not contractor, she's involved writing documents to the board. So we can get-
What, next minute, that's it?
But yeah, they have, I saw what three of them.
I just want to make sure that you cover everybody who has, who don't have it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, Mr. Ross.
Under rules of procedure, I wish to explain my new vote.
That's all right. If you were explaining to tell us.
No, because see, my position is that the supervisor needs to come back. We want the supervisor to do timely reporting on election night of the election results. I have no desire to get into a debate with all the technicians as to why it can't be done, how it can be done, etc., etc. All I want is that at the next joint board meeting, the supervisor report back to us, this is how it's going to be done. That's why we can go.
The thing, Mr. Ross, from there to know, we've been discussing this information from August. Up to now, we haven't gotten a resolution for why we can't have it. And again, Mr. Whitaker repeating the same thing that they are paid going to happen again. And I don't think this board or myself want a repetition of what took place in August. We want the people who ask them questions, rather than candidates coming inside and asking questions and raising hell. That's how come we can't say, okay, now how Channel 12 alone in there? We want, and I want, and I'm sure the board members will agree, that we need, this is Whitaker, this is facts, and all them people could tell us what kind of thing they thought, but they could delay results for public when they have all the technology.
The board already made that decision.
Okay.
I just want to put my.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean,
Mr.
I'd
Moore.
like to move on.
can we have a discussion on Mr. Ross' decision?
I just.
But you see what, put in the record, or not?
That's
Yeah,
all.
but then we
But
have to go to an argument.
We argue, Lillian,
That's the facts we
I
are.
have motion, we have resolution.
you motion and record.
Motion.
No, it's simply that the cover of Mr. Williams is settled. We need roll call.
Any objection to that?
No, I'm principally I have to check.
Yeah, so the roll call and including that the cover there or any person who don't have a contract.
Cover that in the next joint board.
Right. Roll call, please.
Do I know?
Yeah, Mr.
I
Russell?
did.
Objective.
It was a David and Brian,
Yeah.
Roland Bonner, yes. Mrs. Desires Moore,
Yeah.
Mrs. Lilian Blanc, their name.
Yes.
Brother Ross, you know. Then what's, absolutely.
Okay, I think we have exhausted. Oh, sorry. So the motion passes to include that the cover of anybody who is not on contract or working with the information, right? No, I think we have exhausted. See, we go to the item D,
WPJX, that's what WPJX,
all of them.
they're different from.
We just said the same thing here.
They're doing
And
something.
any other person or individual.
Yeah, no, you're asking about WPJX, whether that's. a-
You see, you keep going about the contract employees. We went about everybody who's involved in information coming to the public. That includes Channel 12 because they were in there something a couple weeks ago and they came back again to run the cables or
You
whatever.
wanted sound out to the public now, right? That was the request, so.
Send
you
it out
guys-
to the public.
You wanted sound to. you
We have
wanted-
agreed on all those things you're going on this particular.
Right, so I'm just explaining that
You really
now,
gonna explain that again for
as
us?
of Friday, they came in to do testing, and there will be sound, now as you guys requested, they fulfill the request, and there will be sound, the public will be able to hear what's going on inside. And that's a new feature.
We know that.
That's a new item, that's a new item.
Thank you.
No, anyway, we did that already. The next item is Mohammed.
Yeah, I have a question with respect to item D. Simon is setting up and polling locations in readiness. I mean, I don't know, other than what we have here with respect to the delineated responsibilities for each member of the poll, what you're talking about there, so maybe you can explain it. But with respect to needing assistance for setting up, how does that work? Because that vote that the board members could hire somebody or whatever was, again, something that took place in my absence, so I don't know how that works.
So what happened is that, to save some time, there was a concern that I, as a chairman, had two individuals had considered. This is Mr. Webster, physically challenged. He is not prepared to lift weights. Mr. Alexander drive the van around the place. In order to set up the polling places, I got two individuals to help set up with a wheelchair and to set up the polling place. So therefore, a motion was made. If that is the case, every poll worker or every member that runs a polling district can get up to 2 individuals to assist in setting up and removing the things in the places. Mrs. O'Neill said she wanted to have her own, and I said make sure that the people we get it are one registered voters that can read and write and understand. Because we have to be an eligible voter. You need to have you can't be employed for election if you're a registered voter. We don't want people coming in there who don't vote and just going to get paid. If you're going to come to help, you have to be a registered voter. And that's what we agreed that we have 2 people. So every member here can find 2 to option.
That I understand, but my question, how does it work? I mean, we get to individually decide who we're gonna hire as long as they fit those things.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
what am I telling Joe Blow if I'm hiring him about?
You
his
need to
pay?
let the person come into the office and speak to Ms. Yolette Hodge, and she will get the name, the fill out application information, and social security number, and name and everything, and where they'll be working and which poll.
Do we know what their pay would be for the day?
I think they pay the regular polling workers pay.
Ooh,
The regular workers are polling place.
But there are different levels of pay, are
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's why I'm
Well,
asking.
I don't think the board decided that, I think the people who are setting up the poll workers would set the rates that were paid them because of different categories of judges, facilitators, clerks.
Okay,
So those people, yes, ma'am.
Probably the lower level one.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I just wanted to understand that, thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Williams,
When we met, the other day when you weren't here, and we had a meeting, we discussed all of these things relative to having additional staff, assist, and we spoke of the fact that the consideration of being able to read and write, the value of that. You weren't there, let me tell you, we discussed these things.
No, and that's why I asked how, and I'm not asking about qualifications, I'm asking how does it work if we choose to hire somebody? We bring them in, we send them in,
You send
that
them
has
to
been answered.
charge.
That's been answered, thank
yeah,
you.
that's because verified that the others,
She would process it.
Mr. Williams.
What is the process to hire a custodial worker for Juanita Garden? Because
The school provided custodial workers, the board paid them.
He has a sensory issue.
Oh.
And that's why I'm bringing it to
Okay.
the board, because I don't understand the procedure for hiring someone for that, on that particular day.
Well, the last time we went in Mr. Terrell, and some of us, the school principal would notify school those custodial workers with. They custodial worker, the ones that start with cleaning and preparing the site, and then they agree on a fee. Is that correct, Mr. Terrell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I confirm
And
that.
that's what we did. So basically, I can speak to the complex. There's a lady that was there, that works there in the complex. Other people have the employees to Juanita, Evelyn, the retaliatory school, they had a custodial worker there, right, Mr. Watson? So those people are being compensated accordingly to what they usually pay them to make sure the places are clean.
Sure,
I just want to give you a backstory on it. It's basically, I went, checked with the principal, they gave me a teacher to open the place. Because the custodial workers are complaining that we're not paying them in a timely manner. So they refused, and then I believe the lady walked out the room and said, well, she going to back some particular candidate. That was the reason.
Well, then we should have known that.
So, I'm bringing it to you now, anyway. So I just want to know, is there a way for the system to hire a custodial worker for that day? This teacher will open and close the school, but she said she's not cleaning no bathrooms.
So is she going to be paid to open the school and close the way on?
I'm just bringing you the story.
No, me asking
I
you.
don't know the procedure, I don't know what we're
I participated in that conversation.
Yeah.
The principal said that exactly what he said. The custodian does not want to work So she's entrusting a teacher just to open and close. They're not cleaning, they're not providing any assistance. So his question is, I guess, to ensure that somebody's there to clean or do anything that they need him to do, if he can,
Well,
because he has an individual case.
Because if in this instance, the election system custodial worker service, right? Maybe we can find out from Mr. Sachs and Mr. Whitaker who are the custodial services that we're really using right now because they already have them on record, and to have one of their workers come to where he's concerned about.
Could I bypass this a little bit, to address his question? Mr. Millar, we had spoken individually, as you told me you were gonna head over there. First of all, the Commission of Education is contacting.
Tell us about the school and Mr. Mullen and the custodial
This is
worker.
the first time I'm learning of this. Him and I had a conversation. He told me he was gonna head there, and I told him to report back. So this is the first time I'm learning about any of these situations. What we do is we have contacted all the principals. We had them execute these at school.
You see, you going to other principals, we want to know about this one instance. This gentleman is the
She
only
doesn't know
man,
anything about it, she just heard about it.
but she just heard about this one, all the other schools are already
And so
working.
far, every school except for Juanita Gardinas, he's telling me right now, we have an assigned custodial worker. For those who didn't work in the primary, we have to have them come into the office and complete their paperwork so that they're paid through the stipend process. This that Mr. Mulliner is presenting right now was not told to me. This is the first I'm learning of it.
This is
And this is the
the
first
one
I'm
to address,
being
correct.
aware of it. Now, it would be nice to have known this a few days ago. So either way, the point is, we don't have any other issues that I know of any other schools.
But I said that before, please.
But
That's why we don't want to hear about it.
knowing the situation now, we will work, and I will contact the principal and whoever else to find out if we can get the school clean.
You don't need to contact the principal of the school because we already know from Mr. Mullen and Mr. Williams that the principal told them that the teacher will open the school. Our concern right now, can you or Mr. could you let me finish please? Could you, Mrs. Whitaker or Mrs. Fox, tell us who are the contractor that cleans the office numbers
Okay.
and then find out, can I finish please? Find out from one of those workers, that those custodial workers in the election system office, be available on election day to Mr. Molina's school to clean it.
But we
when-
still need permission from the principal because there's some rules about who can come onto the campus. So I'm saying to you is that we can get the person who cleans our office and find out from them. I will still need to communicate with the principal to coordinate that cleaning because they cannot just come onto the campus. They have a policy, an application.
What is the policy?
They have a, is a written
Do
policy.
you know the policy in the school right now?
There's an application.
Do you know it? No, she wasting time. If she don't know the policies of the school, how
You
she
have to
must,
get permission to use
do you
the
have the
school.
policy?
I have the policy. I have the policy.
Read all the.
You want me to,
I have the policy,
With all of
I have the application, I know the problem now. We're gonna go and clean this and make sure the school has the first time there's a problem.
Monica, I didn't have a problem because I was there for the primary. The custodian worker that they assigned to me was an elderly guy. His foot was swollen, so he could hardly move. And he just sat there all day. And I said for the general election, they should not consider that guy to be there because, he couldn't even move. So we need a custodial worker for winter that can go and make sure that there's paper in the bathroom, that the trash is not over the place, and this guy can't do it. So we need another custodial worker.
I know now, because you're telling me now.
You
so
know,
we
you
will look at the
know,
problem.
you know something?
Okay, well, now you know,
Thank
so
you.
let's move on.
You know something so strange? No, I ain't finished with me. From August primary, we had a meeting to 2+2 to hear all the complaints and concerns. Since today we hear about it.
Never heard that one.
Can you change me to the comment, please?
Mr. Chairman, I brought that to the attention of everyone that was present. Let's take a 5-minute break.
But, look at
Or can I have something, please?
Take a
You sure
5-minute break.
it
I made a remark that this board needs to start writing critical on because she should not be leaving.
But she told us
No,
this
she
time.
probably went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Come on, let's take on the issue.
Look, that is her juice right there. No, she don't come back to that issue. That her, she said she was going. I saw her outside talking to the fire lieutenant.
Let's go.
Wait, Mr. Williams, let me speak. I know you
Yeah,
understand.
Harris.
No, we back to this, setting up,
board is packaging.
the setting up of the location. We need to find out from Mrs. Whitaker, since Mrs. Faxey or Mr. Terrell, you can bring us up to date on the equipment for the general election that we got so far.
We got the ballot, the DF200 ballot bins,
Yes, sir.
the replacements. We got the pack flats, the one that have the 4 and then the one that have the one that you put in a corner.
Yeah.
I think I received an email from Ms. Whitaker about a shipment of stuff that have to clear customs today.
What is the shipment?
I don't know what's on the
What you come with for home? Because you talk about the junior station.
Yeah, the junior and I can't remember the name now.
Yeah, I know he's speaking about. He's speaking about it,
The red blue one.
the red blue, I think with the handicap disabled cover on it. You have to have the screens, curtains. They come, they're supposed to come with those things.
Yeah.
What about the DS200 table of marking and sheet?
You have to act with the card.
What you come back? Because the last time they were telling us that some suppliers in Thomas had something different that we didn't have, that we didn't have to register. And we had one for the DS200. The DS200 covers to provide co-workers, monitors, or anybody being able to see or observe how each person is marking the ballots. We had that.
And I believe that's what's on the shipment coming. Those
The one is the critical commercial tell us.
I
So
can.
just go ahead.
Have we finished with D, or we want to do now?
No, we're not finished because, well, we can come back because Mrs. Whitaker here to tell us about the equipment that came. Because that had to do with setting up the polling places.
Oh, okay.
The cost of the DS200,
That's why I asked about, okay.
and we had some other stuff, you have your lighting for the,
I think that's on the same sheet.
we have some lightings that would go in the voting stations in the event the current goes out and it gets dark, you can clip them on and have them turn on. We need to know what those things are.
So can we deal with E and H?
No problem. Just E, we go to advertisement and area for public participation inside the office and exclude access only to authorized personal agencies.
We didn't understand that, well, at least.
I think that was about, remember one time, I don't remember the lady name, she's a heavy set lady works in the office. When she had it told her, Mr. Avery saying, she called on the phone and said they wanted to put me up, what's her name?
Daily news.
The lady knew.
Yeah.
She was saying why only one person was in there and she come in. Elderly, she got only 60. Yes.
It was 2012.
Yeah, so I'm saying we need to clarify because we agree or we don't agree that only the board members and the staff for the election system should have been inside what we're doing, the reading of the ballot, except that we have the coverage of the cameras, because we didn't want everybody from Average Daily News, Source, everybody coming inside, sitting around the table, picking up papers, writing notes, and taking pictures. So basically, that's what we want to agree how we will handle it this time, as opposed to getting in the argument to see if we're going to call the police to accept the action to go outside.
Can I, since you brought that up, can I please clarify for the record? What happened in 2012 is the press insisted that they wanted to be physically present. So we had asked the press to rotate coming in. So, we wouldn't say that just the Daily News could come in or just the Avis. And then they would report back to, because they're all were viewing it as well, as you said. So we were asking them to rotate because it wasn't enough room in that room to have all press present physically at one time. The woman from the Daily News came in and made the representation that they chose her to represent the press. And then we found out that we got a call from the Avis saying, why can't we be in? Because she misrepresented the fact that she was chosen by the other press members. She just took it upon herself to come in there. That's why she was removed, and then we allowed, I believe, the Avis to come in thereafter. So it wasn't that, I don't think the concern was so much that nobody be in there, but just that everybody couldn't be in there. So I think the choice that this board needs to make is, do we want to set up that policy where one person, one press member can be in there at a time, or do we want to exclude them altogether, since they have the view of that side?
Well, I would resolve my comment to Mr. Rossi.
Well, I like to end it. It's really because I'm running out of time. I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, sir.
In light of the fact that this board, even though I voted no, if this board authorize the action group to vegetate the proceeding in the rooms, and arrangement that we made with Channel 12 to have the sound transmitted outside, that we implement the same practice that we did during the primary election and have a limit access to the room to only those members of the board and staff that are authorized to be in there.
So move and second, any objections? Hearing no objection, the Borough President, so
Point of information.
Mr. Watts, more than a second.
I'm trying to understand, Member Ross's, motion. Could you clarify to me what is, I just didn't.
What he's saying basically, other than, we don't want any other person other than the board members. The board members
people.
and the people from ESNS is conducting the reading of the thumb drive. And staff and elections after the supervisor, deputy supervisor, or one of the designate in the room as opposed to everybody piling up inside the room.
So this is nothing to do with, because it has nothing to do with the cameras.
No.
This is physical.
Right. The night we close the poll, and the reading thumb drive, when that is done, board members and election supervisor, deputy. Nobody will read it.
I will support the.
So you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
If anyone didn't second, I will second that.
It was already.
Okay.
Yes, and so other with the. We had a situation about the F, some famous new head come back from a school teacher outside. And we don't have a quorum because he got automatically. No. The police officer was supposed to be able to be here. Well, I want to hear this morning, Lieutenant Vanderpool and another young lady, I don't know her name, was here, and he says, get an email from Mrs. Whitaker relative to this schedule, because we don't want to wait until election day when the police department is present to have this in a lot of confusion or anybody authorized to be so place we can't get assistance. Because police will officer will have sent to polling places and process of the postal invitation for poll workers and election staff and the watchers. Because from there we run into a problem if you believe that if they have a poll watchers as a candidate person, they can go to all the polls. And once the certificate is issued for a particular place, that's what we were speaking about. Mr. Lieutenant was here, he said, well, he's going to excuse himself because the report that he put in place had to go to the deputy, then it goes to the chief of police, then it goes to the assistant commissioner, then it goes to the commissioner. So I said, well, why don't you sit here with the board so they can understand what you were doing, so we can at least give you some input in case you left some things out or didn't address some more concerns. So he said, well, I guess I have to excuse myself since you haven't got nothing to report from the commissioner. So about election is going on all the time, basically the same thing going on. We need to know how we're going to coordinate these things. So he left with the young lady. So I said, well, let me call the chief person to find out why would the police officer come and say he excusing himself when he didn't make any presentation before the board. Well, we just take that break outside. Here's the lieutenant sitting out there chatting with people. I said, why you come inside? He said, well, he are there. I said, but the beginning of him, Mr. Lieutenant, the meeting is inside and he's still in here. So what I'm going to finish, if he ain't coming in time, since Ms. Whitaker is here, she could tell us what she told him on his email, and he was here. I just like chief of the man being he got. This foolishness. I mean, how can they accommodate so much things and they can't accommodate something they've been doing for years? So what he's basically telling me is that until he gets back the approved plan for the Board of election function on November 4th, he can't discuss none with the board. But the Board of elections cannot do elections, so we need to know the police will be doing as it comes to assistance providing officers to be. I think we don't have that. So Mr. Whitaker, the lieutenant was outside here in here.
I have to go because I have some timelines.
So we got some time to finish here too. So before you leave, I understand from Mr. Alexander about the equipment that is missing. What, do you have a list of the equipment and supplies that are missing that is coming in anytime soon?
Correct. I mean, I do it on that right on me, but
You don't have it?
he's also aware of what's missing.
So do me a favor, please. While he's away, I need to get a printout copy so all the members here can see and know what is missing and what is needed to come in so we can know what we require to have is here or not here when they're going to be here before November. So can you do us a favor, please? Let Mr. Terrell know, give him the information and the rundown, and then Mr. Terrell will you email information to all the board members to know what they're doing. And secondly, what about this Lieutenant Vanderpool? Did he give you any information while you were there with it?
Okay, what do you basically express with that, what you expressed last time?
What last time?
For the primary election?
No, I'm talking about today when he came here.
Correct.
So he's not coming in here.
His boss, the commissioner of police, will not allow him to share an unsigned agreement, as it was in the case of the primary. So once it's signed, as it was for the primary, I had actually sent each of you a copy of the agreement listing all the police officers, their locations and their numbers. I understand that some of you said you didn't receive it, so this time I'll make sure I have the printed copies.
You have it here with you?
Do I have the primary? I don't have any papers.
So you're saying that the primary listing is the same as is for the general election?
It will be a little different, because there are more polling
So if it's going to
places.
be different, you have that information different?
It hasn't been executed yet.
No, but you have the one? The one that is changed for the general election, you have copies of
No, I
that?
don't have that. He hasn't given me.
So you say
the
have been changed, who changed what?
He's going to be adding additional polling sites, so he has additional officers. So once the commissioner of police signs off on it, he will send us.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is
executed
ridiculous. Do you know what is going to be added for the general election? Have you discussed that with you?
No, he's not.
So you're just saying that when you stand outside, they just know. So when is Ronald he coming in and telling the board?
I have no plan. I don't have any further discussion with this one.
He told us this morning that you give him an email and invite him to the meeting.
The board told me to have him come for the meeting.
And is he here?
He's outside. I can't tell him now what to do. I mean, I'm just told him.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure I understand you clearly.
And I have to leave now, so.
Any member of the board have any questions?
I will yield to Ross, Ms. Whitaker, the stuff that was ordered, there was stuff that didn't come in, is there a way that if it didn't come in, we could cancel it and tell them we don't want it again and get on one back?
Oh, then what? You pay for you still have two
No, you
votes.
understand what I'm asking you?
I understand what you're asking, but I cannot
If
answer.
the stuff did not come in that we ordered, and it's on some back order or some story for whatever reason, it's not here, if we could get our money back.
That's a good question. They have represented to us that they will have these items, all these items before election day.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna get the contract.
No, we don't want them before election day.
If they send it after election, we'll have to get our money back.
We don't want it on the
But-
31st or anything, it's not here, no, we don't want it again, but we do
That's
that.
understood. I mean,
Tell them, because there's a couple of things that the way I'm processing this, the way it is right now, there are things that are going to come that we can't even use, you understand me? So we could not,
Who made a representation of things that are comfortable?
no, from the way that things are right now, the way that this machine is.
What he's
Our
saying is.
situation, in our situation right now, there are things that are in that order that we won't be able to use anyway.
And specifically, he's speaking of, we agreed to have X amount of puffer for the ADA compliance. But I'm saying, in addition to that, there are other requirements to be met, that they have the listing that we approved. That's what we asked, because the last time, Mrs. Faxon, you all said that, yourself said that property procurement have to sign off on some document, but we were told that we will guarantee these, the supplies and equipment here, by the 17th of October.
Exactly.
And if they're not here, if they're in back order, they will let us know. We have not seen anything in writing what is in back order and why we can't have the proper set for the ADA compliant and other things that are physically challenged. We need to know. That's why I asked you to get the information from Mr. Terrell so you can email to all the board members what is not available, what have not received, or what is pending to be delivered. Because I think Mr. Terrell said that some of the stuff is to clear customs to be delivered. But we don't know what those equipment
Okay,
are.
please come.
So before that finish,
Yeah,
that's what we want to put. So whatever it is,
Gone too far now. The
then
zip
it-
the zip and pump is missing. Mr. Terrell is copied on all of the when we're communicating with the vendors, and when the shipping company comes in, we're copied.
well, the proper safe equipment for the ADA, what's happened to that?
That is what I need to find out where it is in the shipping process.
And we should have known that long ago, because you all guaranteed Mrs. Faxon yourself that they will be here. But what happened, people started to change, nothing because they didn't like how they
So
look.
everything was ordered together, and then they sent us an invoice. We paid the invoices, and then they told us the exact shipping dates.
So they,
Shortly after, the one vendor explained that the sit-on cost there was a delay in that delivery. And then, and so there's a lot of difference. So what we can find out now, of course, I need to find out where exactly it is. They will
That's what we need to know
Right,
today.
that's what I-
That's all we're asking is the same thing.
Because we can't pay for things and then somebody changing them because the board don't know what they're changing them, because that's what happened when Mrs. Fox brought a folder so that some St. Thomas manufacturer can provide that. That's not what we are. We want what we approve as a board. We approve that only what the board approved we can order to Mrs. Fox or anybody. So if anybody changes that, the board must have known when to change. And that's what we need Mr. Terrell and you to coordinate. What is missing, the delivery date before, because I don't think the board alone by itself, after they pay, you'll get back the money unless somebody defaulted on it, and you have to wait a while to get back your money. Anyway, our concern is that we meet the needs of the people who are voting because we agreed on those items to be delivered here. Thank you. Mr. Ross?
Police issues. And I've been here 12 years, 6 elections, and the police department is giving us the same, we can't do anything with the board until this commissioner signs off. At the site, they don't check in with the judge. So the police don't, the judge don't even know who's on site to provide them with protection.
You know.
2, even when they show up on site, they don't station themselves within view of the judge or where voting has occurred. For example, I speak about Alexander Henderson, that's where I work. You go to that school, there's a security desk outside in the hallway. Police officers report and sit at that desk. They're out of sight of the judge, they're out of sight of anything that's going on inside. The judges want the police officers to report so they know who's on duty, and they want the judges, the police officers to be present in the room. So if they have a situation, they can be of assistance to the police officer, not outside at the entrance talking to potential voters and all these other type of stuff. That's the kind of conversation I was hoping I would have with Lieutenant Vanderpool as it relates to this function on the voting side. But again, it's par for the course. They do the same thing all the time. Police officers came and parked in a handicapped parking spot. And I, as a board member, said I told them they had to move. Or, you know, nobody tells. Police officers feel that ordinary citizens can't tell them what to do. But in that particular case, as a member of this board, we have authority over the voting site on election day. So we can instruct the police officers if we see them doing something that are in violation of the standards that we have established. They don't run the site. We run the site. And if I had an opportunity, that's the message I would give to Lieutenant Vanderpool. But I can't, because he's waiting on a letter from the commission.
Let's get up and go to him.
The third complaint, though, if I may, that Mr. Ross and I heard on Monday, is that then the police officers will tell the judges they cannot do anything if somebody's disrupting.
That's why you should have been in here.
You know, because it's like, what are you there for if, one, you're not available to the judges, and 2, when you are available, you say you can't do anything.
That's something that leave us in the game of vote and no combat either. Or 2 or 3 of them pack up outside with throw dancing and saying they ain't inside. Couple of times we had to call our officer for a young lady. By the time they come inside, they don't dance and cuss and gone. So 2 or 3 of them is a polling place. But 3 of them stand up there like triplets and they don't move. If you look for one, again go vote, they don't come back. And that's why I wanted the lieutenant to hear our concerns, because of taking it back in case the commissioner level didn't know by the time. 4 places, yes, for election, and the election going on all the time. So if they don't know anything change, they don't do.
And if it's reported to the office, then, because he has it during the election, maybe he reports, he actually goes, I guess, goes around.
He who?
Mr. Officer Vanderpool.
Yeah, but he have to go to 4 steps before he gets anything done. So we wanted him to have the input from this meeting to explain to the chief or the commissioner, the deputy chief, and the assistant commissioner called what all concerns are. Because Mr. Terrell is right there. He was saying something, I don't know what he's going to tell us. But all the concerns that we have, that we can absorb and address, he is not here even listening or taking notes.
But when it's happening, you don't think it would be helpful?
When it's happening, it's too late then.
No, when it's happening, let's say when he's parked there and all these kind of situations, let's say we go to.
But who you gonna call? Nobody.
If you would call the office.
No, that's a joke. That's after the fact. We want them to know today what our concerns are, so that they won't come and repeat the same thing.
Once, like for example, when officer doesn't show up, wouldn't it be helpful?
That is not the issue,
to let the
Mr.
office
Whitaker.
know so we can communicate that.
We
to
wanted
officers
him to
and
know today what our concerns are, so he can take it to the chief and the deputy chief and the assistant commissioner and the commissioner. They don't know that now.
Question.
Yes,
Point
ma'am.
of clarification. Ms. Whitaker said that the reason he wasn't in here is because he won't disclose stuff about an agreement that's not done. That doesn't mean he can't listen to our
No.
concerns. So it's nonsense.
I told him
what they're
that.
saying about-
Ms. Moore, I did not say that.
Hello.
I did not say that. I did not say that.
Has everybody else in here heard that? Thank you.
But you think you can disclose it because the commissioner is saying it?
I said that he explained to me out there that he doesn't have an executed agreement. I did not tell you that he could not come in here.
He says he can't come and disclose the contents of the agreement because we didn't come in. But let's move on. Let him tell us
No,
know.
you didn't say it.
That's happened. But anyway, before
What's
this,
personal privilege after leaving 10 minutes on?
well, before we go up, before you leave, Mr. Torrey was telling us something.
Well, before her answer it.
Oh, she answered it?
She said it already.
Okay, okay.
Mr. Molina.
Is there a
Hello, before you leave, Mr. Whitaker, don't forget, Mr. Terrell needs information on what is here, delivery date. Please let me finish. You keep talking when I try to explain. Let Mr. Terrell know what is missing, what is here, when, how, when before the deadline, what is delayed. So let Mr. Terrell get all information and make sure this is communicated through email to all the board members so the board can know what the supervisor, property procurement, and the deputy supervisor have completed or have not completed, so we can know our next decision. So, Mr. Terrell will get information.
Just before you leave another item,
Huh?
discuss with the board.
What's that?
I have to leave.
Yeah, come on.
I will be in first.
The what?
The last one.
Who Mr. Terrell say?
Some invoices on there that we approve.
Oh, that's correct.
What?
There was one item, during the last special meeting, it was decided by the board that any action taken relative to approving any invoice or what have you would have to be approved through first the board. Tomorrow, you're going to be in a regular
What
program.
invoice?
There'll be invoice, of course, for your stay overnight, and so the board needs to approve your stay at Windward, and what was the other?
There is 3 items that needs to be approved by the board. Ms. Whitaker was supposed to have that. I gave it to Ms. Fox, but I don't know if she gave it to Ms. Whitaker. The one is to pay for the room we're using today.
That was indicated.
The second one is to pay for Glen Webster Hotel stay when he's spending the night at the Windward Passage for the joint board meeting, and the third one is for the chairman's stay at the Windward Passage tonight. This was for his stay, is for to speak with, I forget the guy, I don't remember the guy.
That's Mr. Atlee with Mr.
Mr. Atlee.
And,
This was something that was talked about in the past. I remember it was supposed to be myself, the chairman, Mr. Watlington, and Mr. Bokos was supposed to go, but I decided not to go. So this was something done in the past.
So I don't know much about it.
Let me tell you how we're going to work it. The board is here listening. So if you need the board to disapprove this rule, that's how we can do it. Yes, sir, sure.
I move that the 3 invoices be authorized by the board.
Second.
Hearing no objection, so,
Point of information, I have no objection, but a point of information, I would like next time that Mr. Alexander have these things in written, so I can have them in my record, so that I know that I approve this thing instead of just coming here and saying this and that and that. So,
I was wondering if we were
I would
supposed to sign
request
the
that.
documents.
The record, motion will be
Those documents were supposed to be provided. That was actually supposed to be done by Mistress Fox, and since Miss Fox isn't on island, she was supposed to hand the documents down to Mr. Whitaker, and I guess she never did, so that's why you don't have the documents.
I call the question.
motion was approved. Approved. No objection. You see, that's the problem we have in here. When the supervisor is absent, unless Mr. Whitaker don't have something in writing that she's in charge, she tried to pass it on to Mr. Alexander. I told her stop doing that. Because Mr. Alexander is the administrative assistant, he is not to perform the function of Mr. Whitaker or Mrs. Fox. So now that's the same thing happens now. He's telling us that Ms. Fox had information, gone to Mrs. Whitaker, and since she didn't do it, she gone and she tried to push it back on him. That's not the way it's supposed to happen.
I understand.
So thank you for clarifying.
Let's get to G.
G, you were concerned with D, Mrs. Mohammed, but we didn't have to complete that. So we'll move on to F, and the last is G.
No, F is done.
I know, so F was done.
So we're doing G, right?
I guess so.
I have a problem.
Somebody had a concern before we had moved from D to 7 up.
Mr. Chairman, I have a problem with G.
Yeah, but
And, with G, yes.
I hear you,
Fine.
but I'm saying, Mrs. O'Neill, that Mrs. Mohammed was asking some question about the D, and I wanted to know if she satisfied what she
No,
wanted.
yes, I was. The only
Okay.
thing I didn't understand was the procedure for hiring somebody, and you explained.
All right, well,
it,
that's,
I wasn't
so
sure.
we want, the last item is G now. Vehicles for transportation, basically what it is, usually we used to get vehicles for property procurement.
Right, that's all.
And we asked them about vehicles and they said, well, they're going to have a problem with transportation vehicle because they usually assign one vehicle. I don't know, I agree with guiding. So in order for us to move around to do what we're supposed to do, either we're going to get a vehicle for property procurement, and since it was concerned that the chairman had used a rental vehicle to go to the polls, we want to be sure if you're willing to have a vehicle available, and since I can't drive Mr. Carroll's vehicle, I need a vehicle from property and procurement or rental vehicle to get around to the polls. So if I'm assigned from our polls, I don't have a vehicle, mine is a big 250 F4 4x4. So if you want, somebody got to rent, let or get on from property procurement.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I prefer to have gas in my truck and to use my own personal truck because I have to carry back and forth things. But my concern in G is to monitor all polling places. We don't need to monitor all polling places, none of us. According to this assignment, we have certain polling places, and that's the ones that we should be monitoring. So you are assigned to Lumaco or Ricardo Richards. You don't need to go to Henderson or Grove Place or come to Princess to monitor. Neither any one of us to go to any other poll to this unless you want to do it, but don't rent a car just to go back and forth because I think that's out of place. That's my opinion. That's my
Well,
opinion.
let me make it very clear. I am sure that Mr. Carroll had a revised one of these. You have two of them. I bought Brian. I don't want a free diesel or no gas to put in my car. And I'm not going to the polling places with the chairman to see how the polls are being run and anytime soon. Because I recall, one of the watchers came to me at the Alexander Henderson School and they were asking a question and Mr. Ross told him that is something you have to talk to the chairman about. So if they don't call me on the phone, fine. And since we have a policy that I, Mr. Ross, and Mr. Williams can be in the election office to only voters, I mean, I don't have to go to no poll. So you,
So you
Webster,
don't need a rented car. You just
that's right, because I ain't gonna drive my
Well,
car.
I am not going to.
Well, you don't have to. I'm saying the board will know, and the board needs to make a decision what it is. Because I have a big truck, and I'm not driving a big truck. If I have to get a vehicle
But
from
why can't
property,
property and procurement do
because they
what-
said they don't have no vehicle. I talked to the man, Mr. I forget his name. Diggs, so Greg, his name is Greg, and he said they have no vehicle because they're using them some saying. According, no finish the motion, the rules and regulations was approved and signed by Wells and Mr. Watlington. If they don't change it, Board Brian, remember the board, I'm not going to the election office and I'm not going to run the polling places, I have to run the polling places myself. That's all I say. So if we don't get challenged about I get up and down, I don't have to try and get up and down. Me campaign, me to campaign, I live there all my life. So we're going to make a false game about it because nobody said no, I can't happen. The assignment on this paper that I have says visit polling places. That was a big primary. Is that Mr. Correct? Mr. Correct?
No, that was.
The primary election, you didn't have to all other polling places and it was there before.
The board decided
Chairman,
to.
right.
The board decided to do that. So if the board don't want to decide to repeat the primary, so be it set up right now because I know, according to what we have, all I will man the polling places without me since I can't be in the election office or the voting. I don't.
We already discussed that with
We discussed it before we decided that the thing haven't changed. So I'm asking before we leave, before I got 4 of us, 5 of us here, is the board in agreement with position to get or rent a vehicle for the chairman to visit all the polling place election day. That's it. If you don't agree, say so.
It didn't say chairman.
I will not
What is
agree
it?
to rent
Does
a
it-
car for
is
the
it
chairman to run all over the island. I
Let me-
will agree
You know, so
if anybody
may I
needs a
please-
rented car to move from one of their pole to the other pole
Who wanna do
side,
it?
but not to go from Christiansted to Frederickson. There is no need for
Mr.
that.
What are you going to say why you need to run the chairman?
That's your problem.
But let the board decide.
I want
The
gas
question is
in my truck
simple.
And I'm done.
The question is a simple question. Does the board members feel that, no, does the board members feel that the chairman of the board, in order for you to visit these polling places, for any concern or question you ask the chair, we either rent a vehicle or get one for procurement. If you don't want to, then say no. And we got 5 of us, 6 of us here, who don't feel so, say I don't feel so.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, those are,
Take a
Any
Motion.
member, any member that wants to rent a vehicle can rent a vehicle on general election day. I am not limiting anybody where you want, right? Go to the, so
is there a
whatever.
motion?
Anybody second?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's how it is. So make up our mind, I'll get it pulled by ourselves.
If the policy
I live in
changes.
Seattle.
No, the policy ain't change, shall put it in place.
Talking all this
Well, I
crap.
said not if the policy changes.
No.
The policy will
Anyway,
change.
since you
We
said
have to
no,
vote.
since Eliana feels she will put the gas in, let's show you up or no. You see the
No,
power?
I can drive from Princess to JF Kennedy, from JF Kennedy to Princess, and I will go home and eat my breakfast because I live in Princess, but I'm not gonna go to
Let me-
Henderson to
let me-
harass
That's almost-
Mr.
that was
Ross, and I'm not
concerned
gonna
that
go to
the member of the
Pearl
board,
to
Mr.
harass Molina. I am going to stay JF Kennedy and
Excuse me,
Princess.
Mr. Molina. Mr. Molina. When you were, let me ask you a question. No, don't leave things on each other. Mr. Molina, when you were at the Paul B, did I come and harass you?
So leave me out of it.
No, but you was at Paul B last. Did I come and harass you?
No, you didn't.
Miss Mohammed, did I harass you, Mr. Ross at polling place?
Miss-
What did did I harass you? No, I played foolish.
May I keep talking?
I didn't say you harassed me. I said
Whatever she mean to come to harass, harass you.
I said,
Direct them to her.
But where did I harass
On
you?
the board.
I did
Where
not
were you
say
harassed?
you, I did not say you, Mr. Chairman, I said I will not
Do what?
rent a car to go from east to west.
No,
I'm
that-
going to stay.
who will be
in the
harassing
polling
who?
district.
How you gonna be harassed if you look at
If
something?
I go to, if I leave my 2 polling district, Vegas, unattended, and I go to Pearl Beach, what am I doing in Pearl
Unattended,
Beach?
the judges and the
But if
workers
you
and the
want to go
facilitators run
around
election.
From east to west, you rent your own car, pay for
I
it.
ain't paying for nothing.
Well,
But you asked for that.
I get some place
Mr.
to
Jimmy.
personal around here.
this is not personal.
If you don't want to do the job as a board member, say so. Don't get in the board for your popularity to say, how we saying. That's what you have to do it. All you want to do is get popular about making
I
this stupid
can't. I bring
information.
you quorum.
Mr. Chairman.
I know what she
You
does.
still have quorum, you still have a quorum.
Yeah, man, it's a cool for all. But how could you be on a board and don't know what's going on in the whole island district?
Mr. Chairman.
Nobody say you can't go. Nobody say you can't get a car rented.
Well,
Mr. Chairman.
before you can decide, I don't know.
Nothing, I don't understand why you didn't already. Mr. Ross, make a comment, let's go.
Thank you, thank you. Even though board members are assigned to specific polling sites to assist the judges, it's a long-standing practice that board members are free to move around the election district.
Tell her that.
to
See one
absorb
guy now.
the explanation. I
Let him finish. Let him finish.
I have a quorum.
It's a long-standing process that board members are free to go around the district and absorb what's going on. So they can make informed decisions as to the betterment of the election process.
But that's like I saw you.
This idea that because I'm assigned to Port Vale, I mean, let's use Port Vale last week, which I'm not assigned to, that I have to stay, that's the only place I could interact with. It diminished my input as a board member. I'm free to go and see whether or not electioneering laws are being violated in Rivera School or Evan Williams, etc.
If
etc.
you require,
I agree, but I want it on the record because the record is being filled with all kinds of stuff that board members can't move around the district on election day. I don't wish for that to be, at least from my vantage point, to be the standard. So, whether or not people have ulterior motives as to who want to drive around and stuff like that, that's the prerogative of a board member in the election.
What do you want to
move around the district.
I don't have no ulterior motive.
And I don't know you. I said,
I'm saying simply put, I drive a big 254x4 diesel truck. Who gonna pay for $140 on a diesel to put in my truck? They ain't gonna do it. I'm saying if the board know that I rent a vehicle, that's not a problem. She believe I get on the board to harass me and harass nobody. As the chairman of the board, I should be able to report to the public for the board that I have been here, there, and I've seen, observed certain things. Her problem was at the place where she was, and she didn't have the machines properly covered. When I went there, I took those same things that we did to our place and covered the machine.
All right, then.
What we're doing. And that's what she upset about. Straight up and no harassing about.
Chairman.
So if we don't want to,
Said one, said two. In all the trainings we have gone through,
yeah.
and every demonstration we have had, we have never had those privacy screens or whatever. And two, at my polling place, I noticed everybody had curtains, and they had none for me. Okay, so I had to set up my zone. Now, I went to the office and I found one privacy thing for the DS200. I didn't have none for the others. Okay? No time at any of the demonstrations that any of these supplies, equipment was presented for any of us to use them.
You know what? You know what, Mr. Molina? There is Mr. Webster. When they put these things together, I took it upon myself, the same rental vehicle, to go to the Board of Election, ask Mr. Terrell, and I took up the codes, and I took up the screen, and I put them there. That is why when we had the meter 2+2, the report that we got from the workers was that people were concerned and complaining that some of the poll workers could have seen how they were voting when they had a problem. That is why we put the list together to get all these screens around there. That is what happened, and that's why we get the additional equipment to screen the voter from seeing, and that's why we told everybody we have a folder to put the ballot in, so when you go to vote, you mark the ballot, put it back in the folder, and you go to the machine so the workers cannot see how you mark your ballot. And if you can't have that, that's not board done for. It is the fact that we didn't have a proper inventory that was in the bill, so that is why we added the additional information.
Say it was your fault.
I know, but
I'm
we want
just saying. Training.
This is what I'm saying.
Training, we do not.
But that is why we need to have somebody to go around to make sure that all the polling places have all the supplies and equipment to conduct an independent situation. So if I don't want it, I will just stay home, I go vote and go home, I will run the poll myself. But I will be myself, yes sir. Mr. Ross, I'm listening. So are the board going to get a rental vehicle for anybody who wants to ride it?
And we have motion.
What motion? Oh, we didn't get a second. But everybody talking now, so that's all right.
Those are everybody.
I said we are talking. So you talking, everybody talking. But telling her from now, according to the rules that I put in place, Board Brian will not be monitoring no polls and no polls because it's the election, because I put it in my report and rules and regulation. I also said no board members seeking re-election can get a poll in place, can be in the board election during all the voting. It means to me that on election day, I have to monitor the poll myself. And I'll see how much I reach up. So before we go on, Mr. Ross, you excuse.
No, you're accusing me.
Well, you see, you're going.
I know, but I want to say something.
Oh, sure.
Before you go.
Because I'm aware of the fact that
we have security coming for all the voting.
I don't know.
I am aware of the fact that when I leave, the quorum is being broken. Right? But I really have to vote. And I'm just going to say that the election, the early voting policy that was established does not extend to the general election.
It has to be.
It does not. Well, but that's
Wow. Wait, say that again. It don't have to be.
The early voting policy is the early
Right.
voting policy. The general election policy is different now.
That's election. The polling place, the polling place.
But
Trust me. I'm not going
then
to
we
get
have
into
to
the debate. But
do what I is wrong.
my position, well, you recall my vote on the joint vote, right? But I don't mind voting alone. I'll tell you. Okay, but we'll deal with it. But I really need to go.
But sure, I have no problem, sir. But you see what happened? Liliana believed that she could outsmart everybody because she got PhD, she working on some center or she She was the one that brought up this foolish idea that people seeking re-election shouldn't be allowed to the polling place. She asked Mr. Ross if she could find it in the code. I said nobody could find it in the code, and she left it alone. Now it appeared in a policy that is signed. And they did it, I wasn't here. So I'm gonna stay home. When election comes, I'm gonna vote and go home, and I do by myself. So I will know from today that unless the whole thing changed, polling and voting the same, because people going in to vote early is people going in to vote the general election. So I'm not going to be to no poll. I learned that from no. So prepare ourselves to man these polling places by ourselves.
Okay.
If I set that truck for it, for me, I set it for myself. So I tell her, I say, see how much thing I want to make, because I allow Raymond, Rupert Ross and Samuel to mastermind obstruction to the process. And now they see him walking away, they want to come and change. They're supposed to change nothing with 12 years, 15 and 20 years. They know what's going on. They never wanted the election to go properly. They didn't want only voting. We showed them on a video what Mr. Cabarello told them, what can be done, and they didn't want to do it.
Mr. Chairman, there's a 15 minutes on this one because...
I know you want to rush Mr. Monday, I understand that.
I ain't rushing.
I understand, I know because I prepared the agenda. Didn't you get, weren't you there? That's all right. Weren't you there, Mr. Monday, when Mr. Cabarello told you what the machine could be doing in Bosnia? Weren't you there? Cabarello, the same man for the vice president engineer.
Yeah.
Didn't he tell us,
You have it on a video.
but didn't he tell you and me and others that those machines can do exactly what Leanna and them said can be done? You weren't there? So how come the changes? Did they change it?
Specific as to what you're
Couldn't
saying.
he tell you that the machines can be programmed to precinct polling places and you can make a page for writing votes? You didn't say that?
Yes.
So how come I allow Ms. Coverdale to tell her that I must manually take written votes? If they write in a report, I read those reports. So how come now they want to change? Did you hear him tell us that anybody must take those ballots and stick them in a shaft unless only when the current goes off or when the battery shot is, they put them in there? Who will read those people ballots? Which one I going to read? Which judges? No, the judge can't read, but the original law stay clear.
They read but insert the ballot.
Which judges?
The judges.
When they'll do it?
They're going to do it after the election.
That's wrong.
That's why
That's a violation, Mr. Watson.
Tell me where is the violation?
Let me tell you what it is. Under the DS200 machine and the original law, it says clearly, every voter must observe how he or she cast their vote. There was not casting votes there. I know that. When you cast your vote, you get a readout at the screen.
Whoa.
No. I have to stay with that.
When the whopper goes down, right?
Yeah.
And that battery got dead.
Yeah.
And that vote is in that emergency bin.
Yeah.
What happens when the voter leaves?
What happens when the whopper in Ghana with the machine?
No, but
Are
it's
you
an
telling me-
emergency bin. So
That is
what
emergency.
happens?
That's not
What happens?
emergency.
This is
No,
a
that's
situation.
That is all the voting. That's all the voting.
But it's
You are
still-
conducting voting, and they have the machine plugged into no current. That's what I agree. So I want to see why I read, because when a person make a mistake in the
No
ballot,
problem.
if I vote like how I have it going right now, and I make a mistake, how do I get my 2 and 2nd, 3rd try to correct it? But Mr. Webster can get his corrected when he make a mistake.
All right, are they here? Can I get the 15 minutes?
You said it before. Take it as 15
I'm ready.
minutes.
Because I already
We
come.
have a glitch.
Hey, do I so I got some?
No, you got to play games now, man.
Oh, now we playing
Yeah,
games.
that's what you're doing.
Oh,
See, you trying to rush out in 15 minutes because you want to play games. You know full well what
Are you
happened.
playing games?
You want to never sit down in the bar and
problem.
target to employ
Whenever
you.
I ready 15 minutes.
You don't determine that. When I ready for them to talk.
Okay, well I
am
listen.
sure the
I will
meeting.
listen to you now.
Because you know full well, Mr. Molina, that you know that a vote is not cast by a voter until he or she observe his or her vote cast. They ain't casting votes there. They're sticking it in a tray that's designed for power outage or defect and default in machine. Those machines can't read no, because I have the machine. Check a program. Check the machine. I know full well that I haven't verified the machine to be using like that. I don't know that, but I rush to do something. That's all happened.
about today, but no.
They want to do that. Make a thing out of them gone. You cannot tell a man that he or she comes to all you vote and you're going to let him stick a ballot in a shoot. And when election day finish, you go in and get the text. So we put in the machine for. There's no current charges, no battery charges. I was supposed to have Dr. Coverdale, Alexia, and Adam to come to verify the eligibility and function and certification and test the machine before They all be voting, and they agree. And that's why I don't want to tell people. Nobody tests those machines and certify them for all the voting. And I know I told her that already.
People nothing. That's how
So take it out what I want. But that's what happened. Nobody in the
And
whole
the line
right
of commission is still a goddamn lie.
whether Ms. Whitaker, Ms. Fox, or anyone I will be meeting with the other them will verify that I test a machine for all the voting. I ain't test no machine for all the voting. Tell the truth. Mr. William Alexander, have anybody certified and tested machines, 2 machines for all the voting? Do you know?
Yes, it is.
Who tests them?
Saturday
Whooper.
in our office.
Who tests them?
The board members present.
Board members certified machine?
They test them the same way.
You hear what the tell today?
They ain't
Test them Saturday? With the test already, why then they using them? No smile. Why they using the test them Saturday? You smiling?
I can't come, I can't.
You say that you can't comment? You must tell the truth. If they're tested and certified, where is the automat for the
They're
people
not
who do the automat?
certified. They are not certified.
Anybody test the volume of the automat?
The Atamak was not, that one was not.
Why? So how does the 88 people use the automat machine? Or anybody else who want to use the 88 machine? Who tested the members of the machine? Which members tested those machines and certified them working?
Yeah, we want to know.
Did they run a test on each individual candidate and the ballot Saturday?
Yes.
Every candidate and the ballot had a test run?
Yes.
Who run them?
What is that?
Who? No. I wasn't there. Who was there? Members got names.
6 members.
6 members run an individual testing machine with each ballot, 1 ballot for each candidate.
Each candidate get a vote. Yes.
And
That's the same.
where was the report
They
from?
use the same testing procedure for the primary.
If
is what they use.
who tested the automat machine?
Nobody.
So the automat machine, as we know right now, is not available.
Not certified.
So again now, why then if you test them and certify them, why are you allowing people to stick the ballots in a chute and not run it through the machine?
You can't run into the machine
Why?
because it's not certified.
Well, the simple point. Well, the way you put it, why you continue all the voting for?
Exactly.
Are you playing game, man? If the machine is clear, the machine, every voter must observe how the votes are cast. And when they do that, they can see the screen. Overvote, unreadable marks, overvoted, or error. You can't see that when you tell them I put it because that person who already voted put the machine in their evaluation, don't have a chance to correct the ballot for any error. They could do that, Mr. Alexander? What I mean, when you shake your head? No. Is that clear? So if you cast your vote,
It's not.
how could you cast your vote by not observing any errors on your ballot? If they certify the machine. If the machine was certified Saturday, then you should have been able to cast your vote and see your errors. That person don't have that chance like any other voter. And you can't differentiate between the general election and the primary or all election when it comes to casting votes. And the man told them that. So I ain't arguing nobody. So I finished with it. Yesterday was supposed to have a meeting, they say it's a discussion. And the people who set up the thing, take off and leave our island. When they left, Rupert Raymond, Lisa Mohen, the only person left in their talk on the phone was Mr. Webster, Mr. Molina, and Liliana. I wasn't in there because our side is supposed to be in there anyway, so I left. So, anybody in the crowd have a question or concern?
Yes. My contention is what those people who went and only vote, what's going to happen to those ballots? Those ballots ain't no good.
Yes,
No,
they are.
I
Well,
can't.
that will be decided by board policy when the time comes to how they want to address them.
Okay,
Because
so-
only the board can determine the intention or the eligibility of the votes.
So I went and voted yesterday. Who gonna run my ballot through the machine? Nobody can do that for me.
Well, that is addressed at the board meeting jointly to address how they're going to handle those votes that don't have for only voting. Because as far as I'm concerned, all the voting means that you cast your ballot and observe your problem in your mistake, overvote and a vote, unreadable marks, all those things is casting a vote to me. But if you allow the people to come early just to say you're doing something early and not putting the ballots to the yes or no to the right to you, you are not enjoying the same benefit as a person that goes to the poll during election and have your ballot cast in your own place.
And
That will have to be decided by a giant board policy again if they want to address it.
A blind person wanted to go and vote yesterday. They couldn't go and vote yesterday.
I don't have no control. I wasn't there. I didn't stay there.
They couldn't go and vote yesterday.
According to rules and regulations, I couldn't be there to help nobody say anything, so I wasn't there. I went there and I left. Yes, ma'am.
So if it was known that this was an issue and a item of concern, why wasn't it brought up in the board meeting instead of just having this idle?
Exactly.
Because you know why? You know why? You know why, Mrs. Thorpe? You know why?
No.
Let me explain to you why, Mrs. Thorpe. You know why they don't want to do it? Because the people who concocted the confusion take off and left on yesterday, they had known. You didn't hear the gentleman tell you that? You didn't hear them say they can't do it? They had known. I wasn't here. I was
Right, but
by
they were
them.
all here during the meeting when everybody else is present.
Yes,
Why
they-
wasn't it discussed?
Because you hear them saying, I have to leave, I have to leave, I can't hold
I
up.
don't understand what really going on.
We had an
Yes, we
agenda.
What we doing?
We had an agenda. The agenda was fixed already, right? Because we had agreed already when all the
We
voting would
understand,
start, what's supposed to take place before all the voting, when the testing from ESNS employee and the technician, they never done that. I was not here. When I came, I read all the emails that they were sending between one another because I don't have email. I read the emails that were done between Liliana, Mr. Ross, Mr. Mohed, Mr. Molina, and Raymond Winner. I read their emails. I have them right here. They were the one organizing this whole confusion. And people here believe that Mr. Ross and Mr. Raymond Winner and Mr. Mohed know the procedure. What they know is how to frig up things from before. So that is the agenda here that they ain't catching on
Past
to.
practices.
That's what happened. Because they allow the same set of people who've been on the money election process to suggest to them what they should do. They were the ones that had it in charge. They kept about 4 meetings. I was not there. It is when they organized from Mr. Raymond Williams sending out an email saying that he is organizing a meeting because he have already made arrangement and other board members agreed. The way to petition for meetings in writing, there is no writing to me to convene a meeting. And they want to, in my absence, they could have petitioned Attorney Liliana Bellardo because she was the one that have on email telling me that I need to come to a meeting because Mr. Raymond Williams took it upon himself to convene a meeting and she would like me to be here, have it on the record. They can't fool me, I've been a police captain, me not idiot. So that's the game they're playing. She get caught up with the foolishness of who can vote or who can drive or who can rent a car, but she ain't paying attention to her duty and responsibility because of the vice chair. She was to be petitioned from Mr. Williams, who is not an officer of the Board of Election. So he been organizing meetings and they've been going to it. Who was chairing it? Who chaired those meetings?
Yeah.
See that? So she chaired a meeting that she didn't organize.
Rupert and Lisa and them said from the beginning that this election is going to fail. They say it out their own mouth. They say it because they know what the plan was is to mess up this election.
Well, you're doing a very good job.
Nobody could tell you that the machine. If the machine was tested Saturday and certified Saturday, they should have been used according to the rules and regulations and the voter's law. Every voter must see how he or her vote is casted, and no voter that voted early have any evidence to see that they say how the vote was casted because they couldn't prove overvote, error, or unreadable ballot, or whatever it was. They can't do that. That will only happen when they come to the the general election day, November 4th, they will probably take those same ballots that they have in that tray and run them through the machine with the board members. What are they going to do?
Oh, yeah, exam day?
Yeah, I know they have to run the ballots.
that we have with the machine, the DS200, will not be fixed by election day.
Why?
Is that?
We said I win that.
Is the thing with the simple voting thing?
Because Mr. Williams with Alexia and
No, man,
Mr.
lie.
doing it, they lied.
They lied.
I told her that, but I didn't want to be. I didn't want to. You lied. I lied.
I'm fine, no.
I knew that you were
I'm fine,
lying.
no.
Miss Alexia been here for Matulili time with the shooting machine. She been around there with Matulili. They know what they've been doing. That's why they want to get back the motherboard for the DS200 so they could take away and erase all information. That's what Mr. Ross and Mr. Mohed saying they should give the money the DS200, the shooting machine, motherboard to them because they know what is on there. We know what happened. I was there watching them all the time. So that's what they want to do because I know full well that the election was working hand in hand with Rufus Ross, Raymond Williams, Lisa Mohed, Dr. James, Carmen Gold, and a sister with the shooting machine. That is how, I'm going to tell her right now, are you allowing Alisa Hansen and them to tell her she's the #1 vote? You know why? Because if you check the 2002 election, Tom Bull won the vote for Governor Sinclair with 6,800 votes. Where's Alisa Hansen, 8,000 votes she run for? You know, they're in a program, a redistribution program from the motherboard to the socket. But that's how she been winning. I can't say that. No one person who control 8,000 votes. And that's how she been running for. 53% of $1 is 53 cents. 53% of $100 is $53. That's why the same people been running for us all the time. In the 2012 election, they have the 2010. I know from outside, so that's why I got on the board to get inside to show them what they're doing wrong. They know that. If you got 8,000 votes to control, how does Turnbull, a newcomer, get 6,800 votes, and Faxman in St. Thomas get more votes in the St. Thomas district than Alisa Hansen running for governor? Where are 8,000 voters gone? You need two things: program, or they didn't want to for governor. And been going on for years until they got in the booth. And that's where they're hiding from. They can't deal with the truth. Tell them, show you. Tell them why they want to give up the motherboard. The motherboard belongs to the Georgian government. And that's why they have them, and they want to find out this gentleman have them stored. Because they want to take the motherboard out and give them $30,000. That's what they're doing. You can't run from the truth. Walk and camp and let them make the woman stick. That's what they're doing. You can't get away. You go, anyone all in the media, tell them to show I the 2002 general election for governor. 7 people run against Turnbull and they beat all of them in one shot. I see something wrong with that. Compare that.
Hopefully happen again.
So you got Bond, you got William, you have all of them. The 7 people run against Turnbull in 2002.
She got a question.
Who got a question?
I have a question. I am not sure, I didn't hear it or see it. Is there any advertisement yet utilizing the absentee ballot to tell people or show people what they have to do when they go to the polling place?
They know that already. That's the responsibility election system to provide that.
It's done already?
I believe so. Ms. Really got down so she could tell you.
I mean, like on the television, access the government.
But they prepare a program.
Wait, absentee, they can't absentee, so they still absentee?
Yeah.
No.
They have to have absentee. The last absentee.
They have to have absentee.
They can't change what they want. That's what they've been doing and I ain't paying attention.
You can't request a mail out absentee and it doesn't.
What do you mean?
You can't. The last if a mail out was the 14th. You cannot go and request to have your ballot mailed to you.
After
check the
that
election calendar.
After the day. After the day.
You can request. You go and do early voting, which will make no sense. Absentee is still available, but they're just going to have you do early voting because you basically don't have to give no requirement to do early voting.
You didn't apply for it on the deadline.
But absentee will come back after early voting ends. Like let's say if you're disabled or something like that, then you could do absentee. Or absentee have to be a walk-in. It cannot be mailed out. I don't know if you follow what I'm trying to say. You cannot go to the poll like
you had a deadline for
November 1st. You can't go and request a ballot to be mailed to somebody in Florida.
No.
That the last day for that was the 14th.
I understand that.
But if you walk in and say, "Oh, my mother is sick and she can't go to the poll for November 4th, for November 1st,"
I understand.
they will get a ballot.
My question was, since whatever sample ballot they have present, was it presented to the public?
Yes, it was.
Via media, on the government access channel, before this all the voting started to take place?
I cannot speak about where it was, but I know Ms. Ballard and myself, on Friday we distributed the sample ballot to numerous agencies.
Agencies like where?
Government agencies. I sent it out to the different media sources about where they could find it. You can find it at WAPA, you can find it at the same thing that we did for the disability rights. You can find it at the police headquarters.
The jail.
You can find it in different places on the island. So the sample ballot is out. You can find it at the post office.
Jail.
You can find it at the jail.
So this was advertised where we could go and get it? Is that it?
When you mean get it, you go and see how it looks. You
yes,
stop by
I needed a copy. I wanted to see a copy.
Well, you can stop by the office anytime you receive a copy.
But how would I know it's ready?
It was public information.
This is what I'm asking.
It was available from home. It's been here for about a week now, a week and a half.
Oh, okay. I just saw it yesterday. That's why I'm asking.
It was available before.
Ready and available for the public.
Trust me.
Okay.
This election, whoever we're going to get a 50+1 the first time.
It's not going to happen.
I don't pray on it, you don't tell me
It's not going to happen, so they might as well
Pray
prepare
on
for
it.
a runoff. It's not going to happen.
If they have the supersonic machine.
It would have, yeah.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I am very concerned and worried with what I am hearing here today. I was prepared to go to do all the voting because I know on the day of election I'm going to be cooking. But now I'm scared because what I am hearing, I'm not sure my vote will even be counted.
Yeah, well.
I don't believe so. Because if you're telling me that my vote, I am not going to push it in this pretty little machine where it'll tell me you're undervoted or you're overvoted or your ballot is spoiled, who is to convince me that when the time comes to count this ballot, that somebody share out more ballots and throw
Well,
away
to tell you the truth, Mrs. Simmons, that concern that you just rose about people marking the ballots, there are more than one board member present. So when they open these ballots, each member will look at the ballot that they receive and they shoot and take it to an individual and the GS200 and insert it. There is no way that, I can't say no way, but I'm saying nobody going to sit down. 4 members of the board should not sit down and allow Mr. Webster to take a ballot and write in something and stick in the machine and give it to Mr. Webster. Mr. Molina. The way we did it before, when they had the ballots dropped in these little plastic bags, when they separated them accordingly, which they should have never done because the Liliana said she wanted the ballot bags like that, you know. When it comes, that's what happened. So what happened this time, we agreed to use the DS200 for all the voting, but somewhere along the line, since they did not certify and verify the automark for audio that was complained and other function, they decided that whatever meeting they had, rather than using the DS200, they would use the DS200 shaft, a draft, where you insert the ballots that you mark. Meaning that when you mark the ballot right around and different, it remains there until after election or election night, they take this ballot and put it to the right account. So if your ballot does not have a mistake in it, the vote will be registered in thumbs right. But if it is a mistake and Mrs. Martin's ballot that says overvoted and readable marks, arrow, then her ballot will be discarded as spoiled because you can't read it and we can't put it up. So that's not board member. It is these members who take out from here, set up that.
That voter did not have a chance
right.
to go and correct their wrong.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. But then you must understand, Mr. Simmons, this is a calculation of certain board members that are here. Today did that. And they sort of sued or who those people didn't know better. You heard Ms. Onisa, she looked at Mr. Ross as a mentor. So whatever the mentor tell her, she do it. And that's what happened to them.
Okay,
that's what happened.
Let me say something.
All they have to do from the board of election and the judge chair is to postpone all the voting until a day certain that they have the lady come here and take the machine.
They need to postpone that thing. Because with them ballots not being read into this machine to tell me that 100 people voted today and 100 people voted tomorrow, so 200 voters take away. So
they ain't voted. They marked the ballots and inserted it in a series.
But this is what I'm saying, because it's not done properly. They did not vote.
Well, that's a decision the joint
All
board
they
should
did
have
was just
made.
go there and mark paper.
The joint board should have made that decision for the day they saw the problem.
How much more fraud gonna go on?